that these students can do more when more is expected and support is available. And we did it. Like, in incredible ways. Like, the rest of the country is calling me, asking me what we're doing, right? All the time. Because we're making gains that not everybody's making. And they're wondering why. And they don't understand that it's that we have personal relationships with many of you, right? We're able to work this stuff out together. We all aspire to something higher for the students. We put one foot in the front of the other, came together and did it. And now I'm challenging us for more. It is a revolution. And it's not just a pre-K revolution, it's a revolution for the protection of humanity. We've been doing this stuff to each other since the beginning of time. We have come too far. If you think that segregation of persons with disabilities isn't steeped in things that occurred in the past, you put Willowbrook into your Google search engine and see what comes back. This is how we've been dealing with this population for some time. And we're better in many ways than we've ever been, but it's not enough. It's not. Are we being talked out of it? Is someone saying the back of the bus is better than no bus? Justice delayed is justice denied. 60,000 kids with disabilities, 60,000 meeting, and about 20 to 30,000 revisions a year. Each of those meetings can, if you so choose, if you so propose, you have an opportunity to discuss a more inclusive life for whoever that kiddo is that you're coming together around. Not just like, what are we going to do in English? No, a more inclusive life with opportunities that can't exist in segregated environments. I think we can say things in these meetings, can't we? Can't we say something like, so, the number one stated purpose of special education is that people can work and live independently. Are we doing anything to thwart that with this placement decision here today? And so you have your eye on the child, right? Which is great. Expand. The system isn't right. And we have to push, agitate, kick, shove. All that stuff when your brain is flipped that you're not, yeah. We have to scratch and fight. And the kids are certainly at stake today. But it remains certain groups. And so that meeting is one meeting, one point in time. And whatever you do, good or bad, in that meeting will likely echo through the kid's life in some way or another. But I want to challenge us to say, it's going to echo through the country. Like when you look at national rates of inclusion, like you put, here they are. This is the national rate of inclusion. You cannot ignore the fact that Nevada, while growing, while getting better, still stays down here at the bottom, right? And when you average things, so even the national data is skewed by some of the false paradigm that is keeping us from including students with disabilities with their typically developing peers. I am not saying that we do not need a full continuum available to students. I am saying, write it down, tell the press. I am saying absolutely, unequivocally, and positively that we overuse the far end of the continuum to the detriment of our children. Out of what appears on the surface to be a thoughtful and caring intention. We're actually training kids, training them for segregated lives. And so, we're good. Our hearts are good on this. This isn't a challenge about who you are as a person. Because you're teachers. You're my people. I've got one of you at home. And one of them, like a kid's coming to do some teaching. Right? I believe that you're here for good intention. But if we continue to do what we're doing, I don't think we're just going to get what we get. With that, I could sleep better. I think we're going to get something much worse. Something much worse. And so what I really want to message to you today is there are a lot of times in this work where I feel stuck. And sometimes, if it's a especially hard moment, I feel hopeless. Like, I'm here, I'm cheerleading, drink my Kool-Aid or I'll key your car. Right? I believe that can happen for you too. I believe that you have days like this. I believe that you come here and you're pumped, but there are already people. Like, there's things you haven't resolved yet, like about your class, what you're going to do on Monday for a kid. There are already people at your building, just statistically speaking, that are coming up to barriers for the solutions you haven't even come to yet. Our kids are worth the fight. Our kids are worth the fight. And so, say something at these IEP meetings. Say something. Ask meaningful questions. Like, what does this lead to? What does that lead to? Have a real talk about discrimination. And if the best you can come up with for a negative effect statement, right, is less time with their buddies at recess, right, not this segregation, statistically in Nevada, is going to last somewhere around 7 years. By the time they get back to general education, they'll miss such a significant portion of the curriculum, it will be almost impossible for them to catch up. And so the negative effect of this removal could be an inability to graduate, access meaningful employment, and live independently. Not just for the 3 to 22 that we hang out with them for, but like for life, right? For all of it, all of it, because we start them at 3, right? And so I want to challenge us to say we're not doing it. That the children matter more to us than ruffling a couple of little feathers. Ruffle the feathers. Because we're fighting not just for outcomes for these kids, guys, but for outcomes as a society. And for some of us, we may be satisfied with the way everything is, and you're released. You can keep doing exactly what you've been doing. But for those of you that aspire to some kind of better world, there's no way to get to a better world if you're leaving the most fragile folks behind. For you, you're part of the revolution, man. And I can't go, and she can't be everywhere, and we can't talk to everybody. It can't happen, right? And in the absence of me doing that, it's going to have to be you. There's a more formalized opportunity about 90,000 times a year. And maybe we started with just a conversation and nothing happens. That could be, it's still a team decision, right? But people are going to have to answer that question. What are we training this child for? And I need you to do that. I won't take a poll if you're going to drink the Kool-Aid or not. I'm just not 100% sure what we're going to do if you don't. I just don't know what we'll do.